Welcome back to this Friday, here in the Agrodome, one night only. Battle Royale between the Rooster and some miscellaneous goons. This is round two. In round one, we saw the Rooster bravely fight off a not so impressive opponent with some harsh words. Harsh
Yeah,
words
it
from
was
the Rooster.
beneath killing. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, not to say you
oh,
didn't try.
I mean, that's never going to stop the rooster.
But as we saw in that battle, if we can take a moment to do the post-fight report, as we saw in that battle, the intimidate action is really strong, right? Like being able to cause hesitation is sort of a big deal,
Yeah.
and this can get kind of intense when you're dealing with shit like elven songs that cause fear or hesitation. Like if you fight a dark elf and they're intoning some song of grief, they can fight and sing at the same time. So
And
it's
they're like
like
reflexes 6 or
you're dealing
something.
with constant. Yeah, it's a good thing there's no elves in our setting yet, because you're dealing with constant hits to your steel, and hesitation all over the place. So a dark elf can simply just, I mean, even a regular elf, if they're a dick about it, they can just be like, I'm singing the song of wonderment, and now you have to stand there, and now, oh, there's a sword in your eye. Mithril doesn't feel so good in your brain pan. Thankfully, though, all the Rooster has to contend with is soldiers. And I think if you're up for it, we should try a slightly more formidable challenge.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So her combatness, the lady slightly more formidable. Now if you want to take a look at her sheet, yon audience, you'll notice that her stats are all slightly, if not twice as good as the crappy selection of twos that Sir Not So Good with a Sword had before. She's got a better steel, though not by a lot. Her hesitation is lower. She has a full complement of reflexes, which I think is going to cause some trouble for the Rooster.
Rooster's going to have a hard
Yeah,
time.
Rooster's
Yeah.
going to have a tricky time with this one. She's got a higher wound threshold, though the last fight was bloodless. She's also got some fate and a persona to spend. And her skills overall are a bit better, with some more opportunities for forking. I've also outfitted her with several weapons. She carries a longsword. She has a mace and a dirk as well on her belt, though to use them, she'll have to take the draw weapon action. She's
But
also
she'll have
wearing
extra actions. She doesn't give a crap.
she's also wearing slightly better armor, and has a buckler. So she's more kitted out. I think she's going to be at least the equal of our dear player character in this fight. If you want to spend like Fate and Persona in this fight, obviously go ahead and do so.
Oh
But
yeah, feet
keep
on every roll,
keep
literally.
track. Yeah, literally every roll. Keep track of how much you spend so that we can give it back to you before we start the next game. I don't want you
I
to.
won't dock it from my sheet.
Yeah, don't dock it from your sheet. Perfect. Okay.
I'll just throw it around willy nilly. Persona
So
on every roll.
So what do you think? I mean, assuming that you have use the pools that you have, just don't expend
Yeah.
them.
Well, I have 20 fate points, so I think I'll get
Yeah,
through this.
you're like, I have 14 deeds points, Adam. It's fine.
Didn't you remember when you
Yeah.
gave them to
Oh,
me?
I see. You've been playing the Rooster in another campaign. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
This is Gygax era Burning Wheel, where I can just bring all my shit from another campaign.
I actually kind of love that idea, like the idea of playing a character that's like, I'm going off to fight in the fields of Northumbria, and then you like ride off into somebody else's Northumbria campaign, and then you come back to Saxony, and you're like, yes, I'm ready. Cool. Okay, so what do you think what's the should this be like a staged fight? Should this like be a gladiatorial pit kind of deal?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. Are we thinking like standard kind of like sawdust floor with a big audience around, or do you want like a pillar with some spikes on it? I'm not mechanically prepared for a random like lion to be released into the arena, but
There's gotta be a lion,
I mean,
okay?
I
I
have
want
there's
freaking
stats.
lions.
There's stats in Burning Wheel. We could have you fight a lion. You can use these like this stuff doesn't have to be just for kind of person on person combat. You can have fighting a lion, fighting a dragon. You can have like any character type in a battle. It's just that they have slightly different actions. There's like a savage attack action, lock and strike, that kind of thing that animals or monsters get access to. Yeah, like fighting a troll. That could be a thing. I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe if you had Basil and the Woodsman helping you. Okay, so
See, we're in like a fighting pit.
yeah, there's a fighting pit. Maybe there's like a drop off all the way around the outside with like some spear points
Yeah,
like
it's like kind
sticking
of
up.
elevated slightly, and yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
The floor is a metal grating, which allows materials to sluice through.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Okay. So you have some time to prep for the fight. So what stance do you want to be in, and what weapons do you have drawn?
Well, I'm using my short sword
Okay.
and my target shield.
Okay. Sword and shields, you're going to need
Um,
to get it up in close.
and yeah, the stances.
Yeah, so to review the stances, there are three. There's neutral stance, which no advantage, no disadvantage. There's defensive stance, which is +2 extra dice to avoid, block, or counter strike. There's also +2 obstacle to strike. So your counter strike gets 2 extra dice, but the striking part is 2 additional obstacle. And it counts as a block if you change stance to defensive. So each change of a stance counts as an action.
Oh, like does a thing as well.
Yeah, it does
Okay,
a thing. So if you're in neutral stance and you go to defensive, it's a free block as you switch.
right, that makes sense.
And
And
then
then for
aggressive stance is +2 to strike, great strike, block and strike, and lock and strike. +2 obstacle to block or counter. You're not allowed to avoid in aggressive stance. If you accidentally script avoid, you hesitate. And it counts as no action if you change stance to aggressive. Your stance drops completely if you ever charge or disengage. You forfeit back to neutral.
okay,
All right.
I feel
So
like
what
Rooster
stance do you want to start in?
is a neutral stance
Yeah, I
kind of
think
guy.
she's going to start in neutral stance as well.
I don't want to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, not yet, certainly. All right. So to begin the fight, we engage. Speed plus. She's using her longsword. So she's got a longer stride than you because that is going to happen a lot.
That's most people.
And her weapon is long. What's your weapon?
My weapon is short,
Okay. All
a
right.
short sword.
So she's got +2 dice on her test to position you to keep you back. So I'll roll for her. You roll your speed, and yours is just a straight speed test. Hers is speed +2. Hey, good roll. I got 2 as well. Okay, so on a tie, I think it uses the same thing for tie. We just test.
It's just a
Oh, here we go.
wash, right?
Tied engagement. If your test to engage is tied, the tie goes to the opponent with the longest weapon. Okay.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense,
Of course,
actually.
yeah. So you try to get in. She's got her shield and her longsword, and she just like bats you back. I imagine like she's a less well armored kind of Brienne of Tarth. Like she's quite tough and fighting with like a long, fine sword. So she takes a couple of swings at you, keeps you at back range. The crowd starts to get riled up. They can see that you're both kind of like coming in ready to fight.
And yeah, Rooster is just like circling around her like a dog. Like just
Nice. Yeah, yeah. She's definitely not going to fight dirty. Like she has
yeah.
like martial training and fights. She's not a soldier, but I think she probably like
I mean, I got
belonged
martial
to a
training. I fight dirty, whatever.
belonged
It's
to a
like,
knightly order and has that kind of style of
yeah,
fighting. Okay, so
very
you've
formal.
yeah,
Ugh.
so you've engaged. So you are at a disadvantage. It's a long against a short. So we're looking at just a +1 ob for you. And now we script. So she gets 3 actions, and you get 2.
What a dirty cheater.
I know, right?
It's okay. I have a cunning plan.
Is
Highly
that so?
sophisticated.
Let's see. Uh, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's make these a little bit bigger so we can see them. All
So
right,
I'm going to show you that Rooster learned from his previous part of the sequence.
so after the initial jockeying for position, the two of you are ready to go at it. So let's flip these first cards. Oh Jesus. Okay, so it's a charge against a block and strike. So this is gonna be interesting.
So
Let's
what's the
take.
difference between block and strike and counter strike?
So block and strike, I think, is a more defensive version. Let's take a quick look. It may not matter, but it's good to know what these things do. So a block and strike allows her to. Let's see. I think it's something you can only you can only do it if you have a shield.
Oh, right. Whereas Counter Strike, you would like parry and
Yeah, you
hit.
parry. Yeah, I think a block is also like a parry as well. Let me take a block and strike is a special action reserved for characters with shield training who are fighting with a shield or parrying blade or with two-fisted fighting training and two weapons. Test the character's skill, divides dice into two pools, one for defense, one for attack. It seems pretty much the same as a block and strike.
Right.
Or as a counter strike in that regard. So let's see. Interactions. Block and strike counts as a block and a strike for the purposes of interaction. Test your divided pool against the possible interaction for both of those actions. Okay, so let's look at your charge versus block and a charge versus a strike.
Yeah.
So half speed or half force. Okay. So I think what happens here is that you charge and she tries to block your charge. Your obstacle is... Oh, no, you're not actually attacking. So she can't block it. She's just going to have to make the attack. But you test against half of her force, in this case, as you crash into her shield. Now, are you trying to...
Fortitude? Yeah, or
fort. Yeah, are you trying to smash into her and knock her down? Or are you trying to, like, tackle her onto the ground with you?
I want her to be on the ground and me to be standing.
All right, so you're going to charge. Yeah. All right. So when performing this action, you choose whether you're charging. Let's see, you attempt to knock them down and remain on your feet. So you make the versus test. Let's see, win the versus test by 1 or meet your obstacle in a standard test. This is a...
Yeah, what skill does charge
standard,
use?
I think. It's your power. Your power plus a die advantage.
Okay.
Let me look at my fight interactions.
So I can't fork skills and stuff into it.
Correct. Oh, yeah, here we go. I got it here. So on the handout for fight interactions, a charge and tackle against a block is a standard power test plus 1. Yeah, obstacle is half of her speed. Okay, so that's what we're testing.
Okay, what is half of her speed?
Her speed is 3, so you're testing against an ob 2.
Okay.
Okay.
I do not do it.
Unless that's a 6. Okay. So, so she sidesteps as you come running forward. Maybe you like deflect off of her shield as she turns. If you fail the charge, then you are,
Rude.
Yeah, your stance reverts to neutral. If you fail this action, you give your opponent the advantage and lose your next action. Okay, so she's going to hit you. She already had advantage. So actually, charging is okay when you don't have advantage, because even if you lose, the penalty is you still are where you were. Now, she's going to split her pool. I
scripted my no action for my second one.
Yeah. So she's going to split her pool, and that means that she's going to put at least, I think, 1 die into blocking. So she's going to just make a strike with 1 less die than normal.
Cool.
As a penalty. So she's going to take a swing with her sword, and she's going to add in brawling and single combat wise. Now, unfortunately, her obstacle here is nothing, right? Because you're not, it's against no action, so it's ob 1.
So maybe this fight will be over very quickly.
Yeah, let me just double check. A strike against a charge, yes, is ob 1. Okay. So, modifier of 2. No Artha, base ob 1. Shwow. Holy shit.
I am dead.
Oh my god. Okay, so you come running at her. She like pushes you aside with her shield, and she just like slashes at you as you run by. This is like one of those samurai duels where you run past each other and then you fall down. So you're gonna get to test your armor. Now, do you have? You said you had.
So I used to have Gambison.
Okay, well, like let's test it. Let's have the armor.
Provides no penalties and just gives you 1 die of armor everywhere.
Right, 1 die of armor everywhere, but chest armor is always 1 more die. So you have 2 dice to roll. So first of all, though, she's gonna try to move the hit. So you pick where the hit goes. Where do you want her to hit? And then I got to spend her successes to move it.
Well, I guess chest would make the most sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So let me take a quick look at striking the target. The location is determined by the target. Options are head, arms, torso, and legs. It costs 1 success to go from leg to leg and 2 to go from arm to arm. Remaining successes are allocated to the damage. So she's going to move the hit from your chest to your head. You are wearing a helmet, so you'll still get your 1 die. So let's see if it does anything. So she got the 1 ob to hit you. That reduced her down to 5. Then she spent 1 more to hit you in the head, so she's down to 4. Roll your armor.
Right, and so for that, I just roll.
Just roll a single 6-sided die.
Roll a d6. Yeah. I got a 5.
Okay, so your helmet absorbs this mighty blow, and it doesn't take any damage. So let me double check. She's got an okay sword. I got to make sure it doesn't have any VA.
VA, yeah.
Yeah, I should check that first, because if she has a VA of 1, it goes right through your helmet.
My crummy helmet. My sword doesn't have a VA.
No, her longsword does not have a VA. So, so she takes a hard swing at you as you run by, and like you turn your head and just like slashes over the brow of your helmet, and then sends sparks flying. And luckily, you come out the other side uninjured. Thank Christ for armor.
A tenacious spider. Well, she gets 2 more swings at me.
Yeah, so she's got 2 actions. Yeah, just flip those. Okay, so now she turns and she's going to attack you again.
Of course.
I like that you're tapping your cards.
They're done.
Sorry, whatever the non-copyright equivalent of tapping is. You've exhausted your actions. All right, so she's going to take another swing at you, and it's exactly the same roll. You're defenseless. You're at disadvantage, but she already has it. So she'll take another swing with that longsword. So I think she slashes at you. You stumble past, and she takes the momentum of the swing and spins all the way around for another attack, so that she's like facing you again. So let's take a swing and see what happens. Base ob 1 this time. 1 the success. So a glancing blow. You get to decide where it hits you.
Right in the chest.
Right in the chest. So yeah, she lunges forward and tries to punch the piercing end of her sword through your armor. Go ahead and roll 2 dice. Let's see what happens. Otherwise, you're going to take an incidental hit.
I rolled a 1, so
Okay.
my armor, which was shitty quality.
So it doesn't absorb the blow, and your armor loses a die.
Yep.
So indeed, her sword goes into you. Now, folks are asking about the weapon speed. So weapon speed in this game does come up when you're wielding a heavy weapon, and it's the number of times in a row that you can make an attack. So with this longsword, she can make 3 attacks in a row, but then she has to break for a volley. So it's okay. Block and then strike is fine. She could even strike again if she wanted to. And then, and then she would have to rest.
By contrast, weapons like knives or my short sword can make unlimited numbers.
Yeah, or fists. You could just keep punching. Cool. Okay. So in this case, your armor. So folks are asking. It seems like having more dice in armor is bad. On quality armor, like decent quality armor, only 1 of the ones counts. So if you get more than one, you only count 1 of them unless your armor is shitty, in which case, if you're wearing like crappy like chainmail, it could all fall apart in 1 hit. But in this case, yeah, she punches a hole into your armor, and you manage to stagger back, but you get nicked, and you take an incidental hit from her, which is the lady slightly more formidable, deals you a B4 wound. So what kind of wound is a...
That's a superficial for me.
It's a superficial. Okay. So all it's going to do is
super tough.
All it's going to do is increase your obstacle for certain rolls, and that's all auto handled by the character sheet. Okay. So yeah, stab. You bleed a little, but we'll see what happens in our next action. So you're still regaining from that charge. Maybe you have to adjust your crooked leg. And she was going to counter strike.
Floor plating or something.
She was going to counter strike, but there's no strike coming, so she has nothing to counter. So nothing happens.
This is probably like her like formal training. There's like a natural next thing to do that doesn't really make sense, but she just does it out of like reflex.
Yeah. You attack, somebody attacks back. like you beat their weapon out of the way, then you attack them, and like so she expects you to attack, but you just stand there, and so you kind of like both
Just
like
like,
just breathe. Okay, let's jockey for position again for the second roll. So what did we say that the speed test here was?
your stride is one better than mine,
And
and
my
my
weapon
weapon
is
is
one more, yeah.
shorter.
So I've got a +2. Okay. All right, Sir Lady more formidable. Let's see how it goes. Okay, same thing. I mean, you're
Yeah.
rolling really well, but
What can you do?
what can you do? Yeah, you're just not in an advantageous position here. Um,
Rooster's the underdog, right? He's never in the advantageous position.
let's script it up. Remember, you got +1 obstacle,
Ugh, it's hard.
and she's got an extra action.
It's so hard.
This is where you like give the signal for the woodsman to just shoot her in the back.
It's like, okay, you know what? I'm tired. Just, just give me a minute, and then like arrow from nowhere.
Yeah. Let's see here.
There is only one thing to do, Adam. Do that same thing again.
Let's see here. Okay, this might be a gamble, but that's what's fun about it. It's fun because it's like you're still in a position to like really get hammered if you make a bad scripting call. Like
Oh, for sure.
you can really have someone come in on you even if you're at a distinct advantage with like better armor and everything. It's like actually if for people who are familiar with Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire, this does the mountain versus the what's his name, the Red Viper or whatever. It
Yeah,
does that
super
fight
well.
so well. Also, what's his name? The Brawn and the Knight in the Eyrie does that fight well too. Really, any like one-on-one
Yeah,
dueling is really solidly handled with this
there are
system.
so many awesome things like that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready, Rooster?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it. Let's flip them. She's
I'm ready
setting up
for.
for a great strike. Oh
Ah,
no! All right, so you wait for the attack to come, and she just like hefts her sword. I guess she drops her shield, and like
yeah, goes
gets her
for the
sword up
two-hander.
over her head,
So she's
and
got like a
then
bastard sword or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and then comes in with the overhand.
Well, Adam,
What happens on the second action?
Counter Strike is very
Oh
popular. I don't know
shit!
if you know this.
Counter strike, counter strike. Okay. Well, Counter Strike is go. So let's see what happens if you test a Counter Strike against a Great Strike. It's gonna get
I mean,
messy,
what is
I
the
think.
advantage that you gain from a great strike?
More damage and VA, right? Just like
Yeah.
carving through armor and like breaking you down, basically.
So it's not any more accurate.
No, no, it's just it hurts more.
Excellent.
Let's see. Okay, so I don't need to look at her. I just need to look at my fight interactions. So Counter Strike against, yeah. So it's basically just like a strike. So
Yeah.
Great Strike. The actual difference between Strike and Great Strike is, I don't care about bombs right now. A Great Strike allows you to on the first action, take a breath, set up the attack. You're defenseless, it's fine. And then a lunging thrust, an overhand strike, or a half sword technique. On the second action, it acts as a strike with two exceptions. It bypasses block. Holy shit. So if somebody blocks against a great strike, you just go right through
Go
whatever
right
they're
through
blocking.
them.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't even matter. Bypasses the block and it grants a bonus to damage or armor penetration before you roll. +1 to incidental mark or superb damage, or +1 to the weapon's versus armor rating. Okay, so you're counter striking. So
Yeah,
you got to
not
divide.
blocking.
You got to divide your pool.
Great.
How much? How much is going towards the blocking here? Remember, you're at +1 obstacle. For
Yeah, I think all but one are going to the blocking, but let's
right.
figure out how much that
Okay.
is. So I'm using my sword skill, which is four. So I have four dice.
Okay.
Um, in this case, is survivor wise appropriate, and that I'm just trying to stay alive?
I mean, all fights are about surviving, so probably not. No.
Okay, fine.
If you had the
Battle
time to roll.
wise?
What's that?
Battle wise?
This is. Meh. I mean, a
Then
battle involves more people than one-on-one.
okay, and she's not a soldier.
She's not a soldier. That's right. But if you
Okay,
describe yourself fighting dirty, you can get your
I
fighting
always
dirty
fight
wins.
dirty.
Yeah. How? How do you fight dirty? How do you dirtily defend yourself against an incoming two-handed sword strike?
I think my counter strike is going to involve the clawfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like block and defend with up here, and then I'm just like, yeah, and kick her in the shin or
So
something.
Sith Master has a question in chat. If what is the Counter Strike countering? So what happened here was the first Counter Strike had nothing to counter because there was no strike. The Great Strike was she lifted her sword up and got ready to attack. The second action is another separate Counter Strike, and that's when the sword comes down. So Rooster is getting his shield up, getting out of the way, and then the strike will be with his foot afterward. Okay. How many dice you got? Your extra two from your.
So I guess I have a total of 5 initially plus 2.
Okay.
Can I fork in boxing since I'm using my
Yes.
clawfoot?
Yeah. You can almost always fork in boxing.
So I'm at 8.
Okay.
And I'm going to be using.
Well, so you're not at 8. You're at what? 7 and 1, right? Because the 2 dice get added to whatever your defense pool ends up being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what it'll actually be. Because what was her sword roll? She rolled many dice, 5 dice plus 2.
Yeah. She
So
got 7 dice. Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, we better go 7 and 1.
Okay.
7 and 1 is the way.
All right. So I will attack, and then you can reduce my successes. So here she goes. Oh, and I'm gonna choose versus armor. I want to just like go through your armor. I want to reduce your armor on this attack.
Great. You're a jerk.
I know. I'm sorry. Modifiers 2. No Artha. Okay, so she's got 3, but it goes up. Your first one gets ablated by the weapon disadvantage. So you go ahead and roll, and basically you need 4 successes to completely counter her or to block her attack.
Better spend a persona here.
Stixius, no, you have to basically think of them as holy shit, good work. You basically have to think of them as clustered together. So this isn't really 2 separate actions. It's really one action that takes place over 2 volleys. So you can't go Great Strike, avoid Great Strike. But yeah, no, you defend yourself soundly.
Okay, and then now is my chance.
So her
to
sword comes crashing
claw
down. By a combination of rolling and shield work, you manage to deflect it into the sand. See your opening. You have 1 die to kick out at her with your attack.
1d6. I roll a 3.
Okay, so you're just like, yeah, you kick at her legs, and there's nothing there to get. All right, let's flip the last cards. So she's pulled her sword up out of the ground. She has her shield somewhere aside. She was going to block, so she just holds her sword in front of her, like watching you, waiting for you to attack. Yeah. I didn't expect you to come in so aggressive.
Oh god.
All right, let's jockey.
I don't want to jockey anymore.
Where's the runaway action? Just try to disengage.
I'm surrounded by spikes. I'm in a fighting pit,
That's true. You are surrounded by spikes.
even though it's not a literal pit.
Okay. All right. So you're +1 ob. I'm gonna get you. Oh, also you're injured too, so your ob is increasing by
It's naturally adding
it naturally. Yep.
So
Okay.
I guess I would have not been able to injure her at all in the previous rolling 1 die. So,
Correct. Yeah. Because you would have had to have gotten an extra success.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're limping a little bit. Now you can, if you want to, you can spend points, right? You can spend fate to ignore a wound penalty.
Okay.
I think it's fate.
I did that on the last one. I thought it was fate too. I
Yeah.
think persona lets you.
Oh yeah. Fate lets you get rid of 1 obstacle penalty. Do you want to do that? You want to just like grit your teeth and shake it off with fate? Okay.
Totally. Let's just pretend I did that.
All right. So you shake it off. She doesn't have her shield anymore, so she's just fighting like 2 hands on her sword, kind of like samurai style, trying to get at you. And you take a second and shake off your slight injury I think it's for the duration of like an exchange. Let me double check
Got heaps of fate.
Yeah, you got tons, so you can keep that going. That's the other thing. Like everybody in the group has tons of fate points because we haven't really used these rules that much, and it's like a lot of really intense rolling.
Yes.
Spinning Artha, shrug it off. +1 wound penalty temporarily. How long does it last? Temporarily mitigates the effects of a single wound. Just says temporarily. It's the exact same as the shrug it off rules in health and recovery, but you don't have to make a roll. Okay. All right, cool. So you shrug off the wound and it doesn't. You don't have to stop to make it feel better. And once the wound goes away, you'll be okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's just superficial anyways.
Yep. So basically, just uncheck that wound for now. But remember that you have it, I guess.
Well, they go away at the end of the scene or whatever anyways.
Oh yeah, but they'll pile up if you take another superficial and then another
I see.
one, right? So remember that you have it, and we'll
Okay.
keep track of the fact that it's shrugged off but still there. Okay. Get back to the fight chapter here, and then we'll see if I can't kill you in this round, or at least injure you. You're getting run down. I feel like I got you on the ropes, or at least she's certainly acting like she's got you on the ropes. All right, so let's see.
Shake it off and put down 3 runaway screaming actions. It's tempting.
It's tempting, yeah. I believe it. She's doing okay holding you back with the sword, so I think I'm gonna go. Let's see here. Doesn't have her shield anymore. That shield situation. Let me just make sure I grab the right card. All right, my friend, are you ready? Let's do it.
Question is, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I'm striking.
Oh,
Oh shit! That counter strike.
3 times in a row.
Yeah,
So, like,
you're outmaneuvering her, so that's
a
good.
fake out that's not a fake out.
Okay.
Well, because I'm not good at closing the distance, I have to let her do it and then try to like hit her while she's coming at me.
So what do you want to use for your pool? How do you want to split it?
Okay, so I'm gonna be rolling that same pool of 8 dice total.
Yeah. Well, 6 dice and your defense pool gets 2.
Yes. So I'm gonna do
And
even.
technically the shield dice, we could do this in real life, but technically the shield dice should be a different color or whatever because if you get
can
ones
track
on
whether or
them,
not they
it's
fail.
the damage, yeah.
Okay, well, so maybe I'll roll them separately.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll go 5 for defense and 3 for attacking.
Okay. All right. So so it goes 5 up to 7, right? Or 5 total?
5 total.
5 total. Okay.
So
All right.
3 regular
and
S2 shield dice.
Okay, so let's grab her attack first then, because that's nice and straightforward. So 7 dice. Base ob is 1. Okay, so you're looking at an obstacle, basically ob 4. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use Artha because I've got 6 there, so I'm gonna roll another 3 dice. Let's use one of her Artha points. Ah, to no avail. The fates are not with her. All right, so I've got 3 successes, and now you've got to do a defense with an additional ob.
Oh, so base ob 2?
Right, because you're at you're at a
Oh, right. You guys do better. No, but do I?
You don't have the wound, but she has a longer weapon, so that
I thought Counter-Strike negated that, but it's only it negated on my attack, but not on.
it only indicates it on your attack. Yeah, not the defense.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, I only get 1 success.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, but then I need to roll another 2 dice.
Yeah, roll your shield dice.
My shield dice.
Yep.
Saved by the shield.
There you go. Okay, so let's see. That reduces it by.
Well, and I spent fate on this, so I get another D6. Oh, but it was a 1.
Okay, so you've got a total of how many successes? 2.
2 successes.
Okay, so that brings her down to 2, right? One for the base ob, and then it brings her down to 2. So she hits you. Where does she hit you?
In the chest.
Okay, so she hits you in the chest. You see, you have one point of damage there, or of armor.
Yeah, 1 point of armor.
Okay, I'll keep it there and just use my 2 to make the hit harder if it gets through. So you're looking at, did you get?
I rolled a 1d6.
Oh
I rolled a
shit!
6.
All right, your armor absorbs the blow. Now, if you don't block fully with the counter strike, do you still get a strike? Let me double check. I think you still do.
I feel like I should be able to.
Damn
eat
armor,
it.
man. Okay, so yeah, I think you do too. I just want to make sure. I guess you do if you don't hesitate, right? Because you didn't actually get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and use your dice to finish the
So
job.
I'm rolling 3 for.
And there's
killing.
no disadvantage from weapon length or vying for position in this case.
Yeah, so this is just against Ob 1. But I'm only rolling. I only get 3 dice,
Yep.
so I'm giving myself a -1 because my sword skill is 4.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
I get 3 successes
Not bad.
because I spent fate.
Okay. Cool. So
Where do I hit her with my sword, Adam?
you're gonna hit her in the chest because she's got 3 points of armor there.
What a cheater!
You can spend 1 to move it to her helmet,
Is
or
that like weakest?
everywhere else she has 2.
I want to hit her in her dominant hand.
Okay. Yeah, you want to hit her in her right arm.
Yeah, is that because that's only 1 step?
Yep,
right?
it's only 1 step from the torso, and she's only got 2 armor there. So let's see if her armor absorbs it. Not 2 5-sided dice. No, it doesn't. God damn, reinforced leather. Where were you when we needed you?
Okay,
Right.
so then now,
Yep.
what do I do?
So well, how many successes do you have? 3.
I have a total of 3.
Okay, 1 moved it to her arm. What's
Yeah.
the add on your sword?
My add is 2,
Okay, so it goes from an incidental to a mark hit.
and my weapon power is 2 also,
Okay.
or whatever the W POW value.
Oh yeah, that's all worked in already. So
Okay, great.
I'm going to show everybody your character sheet for a second. So what we're looking at here on Rooster's sheet is one
Oh,
of
right, that's the whole IMS thing.
one of his many weapons. So normally a hit with a short sword would be a B3 wound. But because the add is 2 and he has 2 successes to spend, it goes from a B3 up to a B5. So she takes a B5 wound, excuse me, and that puts her at a light wound. So I think that she has to make a test on taking that. I think it's light or higher.
Yeah, because light is like you're actually hurt.
Wounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's registering a hit. She's at -1 die, a minor injury that causes pain and debilitation. So you like slash her elbow, like the inside of her elbow, and there's like a gout of blood. And
Yeah, so I probably like take the sword, like
Yep, she has to make
swing
a
to
steel
my
test.
stomach, and like kind of roll with the hit a little bit, and then manage to get like a little chop at her on her sword arm. Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. Do you want to use the ARG my arm optional rules?
What does that mean?
Players looking to add a nice veneer of grim brutality to their games might consider these specific hesitation results. If a character is hit on the arm, is wounded, and fails a steel test due to that wound, he or she drops whatever she was holding. If you're hit in the leg, you're wounded, same thing, you fall to 1 knee. If you're hit on the head, you hesitate for an additional action.
I mean, sure, why not?
Why not?
So
Let's
that's
do
kind
it.
of what I was going for with hitting her in the
Exactly.
sword arm. Yeah.
I like optional rules. Okay, she's gonna make a steel test, and if she fails, she's going to lose. She'll drop her sword. So you gash across the inside of her arm. Blood splatters into the sawdust. She shouts in pain, and I'm gonna spend a point of persona on this roll because there is a chance that I could reduce my hesitation. So we'll add in 1 Artha, and then it's open already. So
Whatever, I'm gonna win this fight.
obstacle doesn't matter. Oh my god. Oh my god, no!
I wasn't counting on that happening.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Fuck. Okay. Well, the lady slightly more formidable is going to hesitate for 7 actions.
Stab, stab, stab.
So she screams in pain. She's like, grabs her arm. There's probably like blood gushing between her fingers. She drops her sword on the ground, looks up at you in terror, goes like sheet white. And let's find out. Let's find out what happens the rest of the action. So
I think I scripted Counter
she
Strike.
was going to avoid, but she does not. Uh, and
Yeah,
then
what's her choice here?
in her last action, she was going to strike, but she's also not doing that. So that's two down.
Question, Adam.
Yes.
Her decision here is to stand and drool, then? I take it?
Yeah, I think so. It's you don't choose it right away. I think it just is stand and drool if you have actions left. It just counts as no
Oh,
action. And now
yeah.
I have to script. So you automatically win the advantage. So anything she does is a +1 ob.
Right.
And she needs to. I'm gonna grab a pen so I can mark down how many rounds. Yeah. Someone in chat, Sithmaster says she must be used to first blood duels, not to the death duels, and so she's like, "No, you win, you
It's
win,
over
it's
now. Yeah.
over." So she's
Like
lost
it's not over.
two. She needs to lose five more. So I am going to choose her actions for her. The crowd is just screaming. Chat is thirsty for blood.
Oh, I want to. How do I delete cards?
Just like
I'm just gonna pull
tokens.
it to the bottom.
Yeah, you can just shove them aside and I'll delete them, or you can click them and you should be able to hit the delete key on your keyboard.
Mm, no, I don't want to change.
Chat is just like great strikes, just so many great strikes.
Yo, that did not work out last time.
It's true. You do still have to roll. Her armor might. There's a
Well, and
lot
she
of
might just
like.
run away.
Yeah, she might run. She's standing still. She's just like holding her arm and there's blood pouring down it onto the sand. Hug her to death. Suplex.
Well, I am
All
the.
great options, chat. All great options. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it. Standing and drooling.
It's a very valid option.
Yeah, for real. All right, so you strike. So you just get your full pool against an ob 1.
Am I fighting dirty?
Uh,
Answer is yes.
I mean, yeah, probably hitting a defenseless opponent.
Can I fork an intimidation on this one though?
No, you're not trying to intimidate her. You're trying to kill her.
Trying to kill her? Yeah, okay, well that's fair. I
Now,
want her
if you had taken a round to do nothing, right, to do like a social action or whatever,
Yeah.
this would be when you turn to the crowd and just be like,
Yeah.
"What? I'm the best," while she's still alive. But no,
Oh, I
Rooster
should
wants
sacrifice my next action in order to do that though.
right. Yeah, if you sacrifice your next action, then you would get to change your last action. But since you already struck and you only have two around, there's no point. You could just script a be awesome at the beginning of the next one. Because she's still got two more volleys that she can't do anything in.
I get 3 successes, they're all sixes.
Okay.
Let me just spend a fate point here.
Okay.
I got
You got
four
four successes. Okay. I'm gonna say you hit her in the chest because that's where the armor's at.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to spend a success to move it?
Yeah, I'm going to let's go head.
Okay. So this is what we were talking about at the beginning, where because she's standing and drooling, if the armor doesn't absorb the blow, she's gonna make another steel test, and they just keep piling up. Until she's unconscious, right? Because she's at a -1 penalty now, and if she takes 2 more dice of penalties, she's just going to fall unconscious. Okay.
Yeah, the steel test is actually the most important.
Steel test. Having a high steel is how you win fights.
Yeah.
This is why in fiction, the character that can take hits and keep fighting is the character that wins fights.
This is why Jackie Chan wins fights.
Yeah, right. Getting punched in the face a bunch of times and not blacking out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to do, you attack her, you hit her in the head. So that's three successes. I'm gonna roll her armor on her head. She's got 2 dice. Is that a 1 or a 2? Okay, her armor absorbs the blow. So you slash her in the side of the head. The like cheek plates or whatever on her armor like deflect most of the blow. You follow up immediately with another action. So what happens? She's still standing and drooling. What are you doing? Another strike. So a strike to the side of the face. Another swing. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah. More of the same, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe my previous plan was good. Maybe I should have stuck with my previous plan. Less successes when less this fate point I'm spending. Nope. Okay, so I only get 2 successes.
Okay, same thing. Chest hit. If you want to move it, you can spend a success, or you can increase the damage and hope that I don't get a success on the 3 dice I'm gonna roll.
No, I'm gonna hit her in her left arm now.
You're gonna slash her other arm.
Non-dominant arm, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you take a swing at her other arm. So this is just gonna be a mark hit if the armor doesn't absorb it. Ah, it does not. Okay, so she's gonna take a mark hit, which from you is what? Or incidental rather. So your first hit.
It's B3.
Okay, so B3. That's a superficial. So now she's got an obstacle penalty and a wound die. She doesn't need to make another steel test because it's just a scratch.
Yeah.
So you like slash her arm, slash her across the face, slash her other arm. Now both of her arms are bleeding.
Yeah. This is just kind of like wild, like
Yeah, like all of this takes place like one thing after another, like very quickly. These are heartbeats, right? So you're just like frenzied slash.
yeah. That's
Cool.
Cornerstone of Rooster style.
All right, so she's hesitating again for 2 more actions, and that hesitation at the beginning means you have advantage again. You don't have to make another test. Now you,
Can I intimidate her while she's standing and drooling to force it?
I don't think so. I think that you need to actually like, she needs to. You can't intimidate to stack more on the steel test already.
There's these balance changes that they made.
Let me choose her actions here. So her first 2 actions, you know, she's going to do nothing.
Well, yeah, okay, we're going back to the old plan here. I liked the old plan.
Okay, and then on her 3rd action, I don't really have a choice, so I'll do this thing.
She's basically going to have to draw a weapon.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's scripting. or I could guess I could disengage or avoid.
Or try to like tackle me.
Yeah, or punch you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she'd be at massive disadvantage there. Okay, Rooster, let's flip it. She's standing and drooling. Whoa.
So Rooster just like turns to the crowd and like chucks his sword to the ground.
And the other crowd, like, there's a roar of confused anger. There's like, what? What are you doing? Ah, kill her!
Pulls out his big like two-handed like armor cracking mace and then just turns around.
So the crowd's anger goes from like, why are you throwing your sword aside? No mercy, no mercy. And then you just like pull out your giant mace and then they're like, yeah, crush her. All right. So on the second action, she's standing and drooling.
If only I could script 3. 'Cause
I know,
I'm
you could great strike. Yeah.
But whatever. He just
All right.
like it's quick, right? He just like turns to the crowd, like does a little bit of a like fuck you hand gesture, and then whips it out and just swings back around and belts her across the face.
Awesome.
That's the plan. Anyways, we'll see if I just
All
whiff the
right.
roll.
So you're using a slightly different skill, but it's still ob 1 for you.
Okay. And dirty fighting still seems real.
Mm-hmm.
I actually get less dice for this.
Yeah, because you're not as well trained.
But I'll spend fate again.
Okay. So
There we go.
3
3
successes. Okay. So 1 to hit. You hit her in the chest. What's the VA on your big 2-handed crushing mace?
2, I think.
Okay. So do you want to give her 1 die in the chest, or do you want to just bypass her armor completely and hit her in the head?
I'm gonna hit her in the head. It's just like she's teed up, and I'm the slugger.
Okay. So you spend the extra. So it's you don't have enough. What's the add on this weapon?
Add is 2.
Okay, so you don't have enough to bump it up. So she doesn't get a chance. Her armor does nothing here. So what's
Yeah.
your incidental?
For this, it's 3.
Okay, so she takes another superficial wound. So she like kind of staggers back as she gets her senses about her, and you like wing her in the cheekbone, and like tear at her face and like dent in the side of her helmet. So she staggers back, and then on her last action, finally getting her head, she draws a weapon. So she is gonna draw her. What has she even got on her? A sword, I think. No, she dropped her sword.
You said she had like a dirk or
She's
something?
a dirk and a mace. She's gonna draw a regular mace. She draws her 1-handed mace. So now it's a mace off.
Yeah. And she used to have the longer weapon, but now I have the longer weapon.
Yeah.
Because mine is long.
Yours is a big old mace. Yep.
Yeah.
So again, to answer a quick question in chat, the reason that she doesn't roll armor is because the VA, the versus armor on Andrew's character's weapon, is too high. It overcomes the number of dice that her armor has. So a mace crushing in armor is more effective, and she doesn't even get to roll. So at this point, yeah, you just like bash the side of her head, and her armor kind of like clunks in, and she staggers. So now she's got her actions, but she is like staggered. Oh, we have to roll. Hold on, we have to roll to jockey for position. Now she only has +1 die on this one, and you have +1 die, right?
Yes.
Because you have a big two-handed like crusher, and she's just got one. Okay, she got, yeah, you beat her because you got her ob is higher.
Weapon though, so I win the tie.
Yes. So well, it wasn't even a tie because she's wounded, right? Her ob is 2
right,
technically, so she loses her first success. So you keep her at a distance. What's the length on yours? Longer?
Mine is long.
Long? Okay, I think hers is short. Let's check.
I think most one-handed weapons are.
A mace is short. Yes.
Yeah.
So you got a plus. Her ob is +1 for these actions.
Hooray!
Okay.
Brewster just needed to like buy time to draw the weapon because he's so much slower than her.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty good, like, your shrewd scripting is really helping, and her armor is helping counter for the fact that you've hit her a bunch of times. But with the mace, I think we're gonna see some
Like,
changes.
oh, I need the can opener for this one.
Yeah, exactly. More appropriate weapon. Okay. Let's blow these up a little. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, cool. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's flip them. She's going to avoid you. Okay.
She can try.
She can certainly try. So an avoid versus a strike is pretty classic. She's going to try and dodge as you lunge in with your can opener. And that means that she tests her speed against your... Such a versus test. Her speed takes away your attacks.
Reduces my success.
One of the simplest interactions. Yeah, avoid versus strike. Let me just double check, make sure there's nothing else going on. Strike, avoid, speed versus skill. And unlike every other test that's like a stat versus a skill, speed does not have the penalty applied to it, but her wound penalties all still apply. So why don't you take the swing, and we'll see how successfully, if at all, she can avoid it.
Okay, I think dirty fighting no longer really applies here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now it's getting more rough and tumble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like sweep the leg and stuff because I'm taking advantage of her being like a bit wounded.
Yeah.
So I think I'm getting in there with brawling, I guess, or boxing. Actually, probably boxing would make more sense.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more technical now that I have the advantage.
Right. Cool. Okay.
Three successes, and I'll spend fate
To reroll. Okay.
to reroll that 6. Okay.
All right. So you got 3 successes. So now I have to test my speed, but a bunch of the successes I get will just be wasted, essentially.
Just to overcome your wound penalty.
Yeah, to overcome the wound penalty. So my base obstacle is what you rolled, right? 3?
Plus
2
1
basically.
For the penalty, plus 1 for the range.
Nah, she's screwed. So I got 1 success, which just goes to the basic, like, trying to overcome the wound penalty. So you hit her with 3 successes.
Yeah, great.
Hit her in the chest.
Noggin.
You know, move it, another blow to the head. And you said the add is 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so same thing. It's 1 to hit, 1 to move. You only have 1 left, so you can't improve it. She takes another superficial wound to the head. So you're just like bashing her in the head over and over, and she's just getting
3
punched.
superficials.
She's getting punch drunk. Yep, she's on her 3rd superficial, which is another steel test with 2 less dice. Okay, she doesn't have any more persona, so not much I can do here. Steel test. Survey says, yeah, 1 success. So that means she hesitates for 6 actions. Let's go ahead and just see what those actions are, shall we?
Give me one guess.
So 2 of them go towards her doing nothing. And you strike her again. So go ahead, Ob 1.
Okay, now we're back to dirty fighting and brawling at this point.
Now, hold on. What's your speed? Because the mace is actually quite heavy. So how many in a row can you make?
It can do 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
so it's kind of perfect for Rooster, right? It's like at the tip top of what he can output.
yeah, totally. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I'm
So
working in brawling and dirty fighting.
she takes 2 of the 6 that she needs to take.
Only 2 successes.
Okay. So you can do it again. Like you hit her in the chest, you move it to the head. Same as before. Exactly. She takes another wound. Now, because her wounds are full, like her superficial are full, they push up. She takes another superficial, like her 3s are full. You're just like, it's the death of 1,000 broken facial bones. Like just battering her skull.
Well, and probably she's mace. Like blocking with her hands and stuff. So it's like,
just getting
wailing on her defenses.
Yeah.
And maybe like Rooster is kind of playing it up for the crowd too, like taking a moment to just like look around and then just.
Oh my god. Well, the thing is, like, Rooster's not that good with the mace, so it's hard for you to deal like a really decisive blow. So you have to kind of like just pummel her armor into nothingness. Okay.
The strike obviously.
So that 3rd strike you can't do. Okay. So let's script this.
The 3rd strike was a great game.
Let's script this last action.
Okay, I think y'all know what's coming here.
Okay. No, I think I know what I'm gonna do here. For this one at least. So basically, what's going on here? Oh my god, there's so many cards. Are you just doing strike, nothing?
Strike.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So.
No, we doing the great strike now.
Yeah, great strike now. Okay.
Great strike. So I'm doing it.
Okay. No, but you can't test if she has 0 dice, right? I'm double checking the armor thing here. So she doesn't have the Artha to spend, but Chad is suggesting that you can roll. You can still roll the armor even if it's a 0. Let me check how VA works because I might be misremembering that.
Is it that VA ignores 2 successes?
No, I think what it does is VA weapons versus armor. Oh, no, it doesn't ignore it. It makes armor tests. Oh, we're doing armor wrong. Okay, so it makes armor tests higher obstacle. So I still have to roll. Oh. So she would get against.
Okay, so yeah, it basically discounts 2 successes.
It discounts successes. So you could spend fate, and the armor could get damaged. So from here forward, we'll roll it even if she couldn't.
Right,
succeed.
we would still need to roll it to see what. I was wondering
damaging
about that,
the helmet.
When I first hit her, I'm like, oh, she doesn't roll, so I can't damage her.
That's a good point. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So in fact, it only runs the risk of getting damaged if I'm
right. Yeah. VA only. It's because we got confused because VA subtracts from shields.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyways, great
Chat
strike.
GM. Thank you. Okay. So anyway, great strike. So she's staggered. She's got blood dripping from her nose. She got little birdies flying around her head. You get up on one shoulder, get ready to swing, and then great strike.
Yeah, so, this is like a couple steps run up to just like massive.
Do you want to increase the VA to 3, or do you want to add +1 to your hit?
I want it to hit harder because it's already going to ignore a bunch of armor.
All right. So go ahead and make that test.
Okay. So maces, dirty fighting, brawling. It's a big, wild
rushing in with your mace. Nice, good. You overshoot it maybe and like stagger. You hit her in the chest though. The weight of
I'm too busy showboating. It's just like
the weight of the mace carries you into her. But okay, so she's got to roll armor, and she's got
3 dice in her chest, right?
Yeah, 3 dice, and the ob is increased by what, 2? So all 3 of these need to be a success to mitigate the hit.
So you're gonna do it now, and it's gonna turn it around.
Oh fuck no. All right. So the armor doesn't degrade, but you just crash the mace into her, and she takes another similar hit. She takes
So this would be,
another superficial.
but I hit harder because
Oh, that's right. Is it a B4 wound then? Or
my mark hit with the Great Mace is a B5.
no, no, it's still an incidental hit. It
Oh, I
just
see. That's
goes
just
up by one, so it is
scaled up
B4,
one.
right?
So then it would be B4.
Yeah, so in this case, it's actually the same because
Yeah.
her
Because
B3
I
and
already
B4 are all
that's-
superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
she's getting worn down. Okay, and then last action, obviously nothing because you were great striking. She has hesitated for she hesitates for one more.
To great strike or not to great strike.
Yeah,
The
well,
extra damage actually isn't that
no, it's
significant.
right now it's not that good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, three superficials become a -1 die. So if she takes one more superficial, she's at another -1.
Right.
So far she's taken for those keeping track. She's taken 5 superficial wounds and 1 light wound.
Hey, this is the gladiator style. You got to like make the fight last
That's
longer,
right.
even when you're winning.
The audience is stoked every time you connect.
Yeah.
Okay, so for her first action, I know what she's doing, and then she'll get her shit together.
Get it together. Miss skilled more than the last guy, whatever her name was.
And then this one. Okay. Are you ready, Rooster?
Yeah.
Okay, flip him.
The plan is simple.
She's standing and drooling.
Yeah, she's just like so tough.
Staggered. Well, it's
So
not that she's
awkward.
tough, it's that you're not that strong.
Also true.
Like you're just doing these little hits. One big hit would take her down, right? It'd be huge, but I mean, this is
Yeah,
gonna the funny thing is this is gonna force another steel test if you do a superficial wound.
Yep.
Okay, go.
Uh, Mace, brawling, dirty fighting. 5 successes.
Oh, there it
Here we go.
is.
3 of them are 6s. I'm
right.
rolling 3d6.
Here's the big one. Ooh,
I got another 6.
another 2, and then a 6.
Okay, yeah, so 7 successes.
Rooster is done with this shit. So, people are probably starting to wonder, like, how do you end a fight? Like, what would happen if Rooster had done another superficial? So before we do this big one, the end of the fight is about to happen anyway, because one more superficial wound would go over one of her stats. So her perception, her will, her agility, those are all 3. She would have more wound penalties than she has stats, and she'd pass out. So you'd overcome her will, she'd pass out, and then he would just crush her skull or give her mercy or whatever. So really, the timer on a fight,
Excuse me. Give her mercy.
the timer on a fight is the lowest stat of a combatant, right? So
Yeah, and then you're just like too wounded to carry on, unless you can ignore the penalties and
so here's how this goes. How many successes do you have? 6?
7.
7? Okay. 1 to hit.
Yes.
You have 6 left. Where do you want to hit her?
In the head.
Okay. 1 to the head.
And then I have how many left?
Now you can gamble. You've got 5, which is only 2 actually that's 2 raises, so it goes up to whatever the highest one, the big hit.
Yeah.
So what
So I will take an S hit.
she's looking at, yeah, an S hit, which from you is what?
A B7.
B7. Okay. She's looking at a B7 hit unless her armor can absorb the blow, which because you're hitting her in the head, she doesn't have enough dice for it. So she'd have to spend fate. So it's what? 2d6 with
2d6 open-ended.
a difficulty of 3. She's not spending fate yet. Oh, her helmet crumples. So she takes that hit to the head.
It's about damn time.
So that hit to the head does her, sorry, what did you say it was, a 7?
Yeah, B7.
So it's a midi wound. Her wound dice goes up to 4. She's knocked unconscious. So you swing, smash her in the side of the head. She spins, spits blood and teeth, and falls face down in the dirt. And that's it. She's unconscious. Now, she's not that badly wounded. Like, a midi is a hard hit, but she'll get better. Unfortunately, she's now at the mercy of her opponent. So what does Rooster do?
Oh, I'd give her the clawfoot for the finisher. That's my move. That's my custom move.
Awesome. All right.
So yeah, he like flips her over and like looks out of the crowd and does the whole like, gets the crowd pumped, and then he just like lifts the clawfoot over her head and and then we like cut. You do the cut.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. The hard cut as the claw comes down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good work, Rooster. Nicely done. I concede that you outdueled me in that one. See, and this is cool where you could see like that the lady slightly more formidable like had better gear, right? Her armor was better, but with time and persistence and good good scripting, you can get away
Like she was
from.
basically a stronger opponent
Yes, she
than
was better than you at fighting. Yeah.
yeah.
Her higher
Because Rooster isn't
reflexes.
actually very good at proper fights. He's
Mhm.
really good at picking on people.
Yeah, yeah. And so for advancement, the way that fighting works, and I feel like we can save you and Princess fighting for the real deal now that you're prepared.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that needs to happen.
Well, we could have like a boxing match or something too. That would be super
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah, yeah. The two of you could actually fight. So we'll use these rules in the game. And the way advancement works in this is we can now go back and you pick one test for each skill that you want to use to advance. So you can look back and say, okay, I used mace 6 times. One of those was a routine test. We'll take that one. So you can go back and double check, but each
Yeah, for
skill
every
gets
skill
one
that
thing.
you use, you can get one test for advancement.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you'd be like, "Yeah, I want to get in a fight."
Yeah, and so like this is one of those things where as a group of Burning Wheel players, you kind of have to invest in each other's fun in a lot of ways because like if we have a duel of wits that only involves Basil, the other players have to kind of step back and be players and like cheer Basil on or like give Austin advice in the same way that if someone gets into a fight, we only do this when it counts for a belief because it's so granular, it's so zoomed in, right?
Hmm.
So now I think we're probably adequately prepared for getting in these fights, and you can definitely build characters to fight a certain way, right? Like some characters fight better with 2 weapons, some fight well with a longsword and a high boxing skill, where you can like grab and disarm and grapple, and you tend to fight that way. And fighting without weapons tends to result in a lot more like grabs and throws, that kind of thing. Most of the time, if you have someone in armor and someone with a weapon, they just batter away at each other until someone falls down, which is how
It's kind of how that
medieval
last fight went.
medieval fighting actually works. Um, yeah, cool. So I hope you enjoyed our little focus on the fight mechanics. I love this part of the game. I'm really excited to like roll it into our campaign. So we'll have it set aside. And now, Rooster or Agnes, for example, Agnes would be a good person to have one of these unarmed fights with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can go in with both of us ready to do the mechanics.
Gotta watch out for that flowery palm technique. Agnes.
Yeah, totally. The flowery palm, the five-fold bun technique. It's a bad time. Those thrown weapons. Cool. I guess that's that for today. Hey, thanks for coming, Andrew.
Yeah.
Where can people go and throw roses at your victorious feet?
Well, like right here on Thursdays and Fridays, and you can follow me on Twitter at Commuting Crow. You can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/actualfactual. Also, with regards to Roll20 Con, I think I will be running a game,
Yeah, do
and
it.
so I will give details about that as they become clear. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely gonna
yeah.
run GM
Once
something
once the
on.
signups start, yeah, we should talk it out because if either I want to be in that game, or I want to at least like be able to produce it so we can run it on Twitch. So
Yay!
let's make it happen. Cool, cool. All right. Well, I'm still me. I'm Skinny Ghost on Twitter. You can follow Roll20 at Roll20 app. Definitely go check out the new Roll20.net/con for details as they come in. Check back in on that site too. We're going to be updating the guests, and once we have a schedule that starts to get built, we'll put it up there. Remember what Nolan said. We're looking at beginning of May for signups, and there'll be lots of games and action and fun times. Between now and then, though, as Andrew said, Mage right here on Thursdays and Burning Wheel on Fridays. So we will see you for those next time around. Thanks for coming, everybody. This was a violent and great time. And hopefully, when it happens for real, Rooster will be just as successful. See you
God, I hope
next
so.
time. Bye, everybody.